Are British workers currently being undercut by cheap foreign labour?
Well, if we, good afternoon. If we look at the HGV world, which is obviously what I specialise in, I would say not, because obviously we had Brexit. Last year, Brexit collided quite spectacularly with the pandemic, and we lost a very large percentage of our foreign labour who then decided to sort of get out of the country. So I would say not, because they haven't returned. And in actual fact, last year, reacting to the fuel crisis, the government reissued 5,000 temporary visas for foreign drivers to come back. And I think the last count, when they stopped counting, was about 300 who chose to take up the offer. So, sorry, go on.
No, just quickly on that before I go to Peter, because I think the HGV stuff has got real relevance here. I know it was exceptional circumstances during the pandemic, and for a while you could coin it in, really, because we were desperate for HGV drivers. But before that, was there not an issue with potentially, dare I say it, Polish drivers, Hungarian drivers, Romanian drivers? I'm just going off what I've been hearing in the press around this. Maybe being happy to work for less than British drivers, or is that just not the case?
I think that was certainly the rhetoric that was coming out from people here in the UK, that drivers were prepared to come over and work for slightly less because their costs were slightly less. So yes, I would say that is true. I think it's also worth making the point that those people that came over worked very hard and added value to the economy and to the HGV world. But certainly now, post fuel crisis, we are seeing salaries increasing, and that means that now really the only solution in this country, as Keir did say, is to train more drivers, because we have an ageing driver population.
Well, you've brought me seamlessly on to my next point. Peter Edwards, thank you very much, former editor of Labour List. I'll throw it over to you now. Is Keir Starmer a slightly sticky wicket when it comes to training British workers to do more, purely because at some point he might have to confront the uncomfortable truth that maybe, dare I say it, some Brits are lazy and need to work a bit harder?
I certainly don't think Brits are lazy, and it would clearly be any politician who says that would be toast. But it's fair to say that Labour has had an uneasy relationship with these two issues that come together: Brexit and immigration. Of course, immigration is a global topic rather than just an EU-facing one. So it's completely right. If Labour wants to win the election, it starts to talk about these things, and as time goes on, I think it is a bit of a rebuild of credibility for Labour, but I think Keir Starmer did that very well today. Voters might also begin to see that the government have been all over the place on these topics. And I don't want to make everything partisan, but obviously the thing in the forefront of our minds is that David Cameron pledge, which was to get immigration down to thousands rather than hundreds. And that was essentially a made-up figure for political convenience rather than anything born out of the need.
Well, it was absolute rubbish, because clearly not only was it unobtainable, he didn't have any desire of doing that, and nobody does now either. So it was just a bit kind of like Narnia politics.